Vic, thank you so much for that kind introduction and for, more importantly, in defense of Christians and for all of you for being here today. You have been the game changer. Many of us have been calling on the administration to designate what was happening to Christians as a result of ISIS's campaign a genocide. There was a refusal. I held 4 congressional hearings on it, got nowhere, except, well, we're looking at it. Jeff Fortenberry's resolution was also a very powerful message at the absolute time that it had to be made. And of course, Secretary Kerry then made the designation, which we all welcomed with open arms. The problem has been, what's next? What now? I held a What Now hearing just several months ago, and the answers are very sparse and threadbare, and that's unfortunate. You know, the administration has an opportunity to speak out boldly, to step up. I've just introduced a piece of legislation backed by Anna Eshoo, who's the principal Democrat co-sponsor, Trent Franks, Jeff Fortenberry, Mark Meadows, Steve King, and others are all co-sponsors. It's called the Iraq and Syria Genocide Relief and Accountability Act of 2016. That legislation has several important what next action items contained within it, including providing money and effort to prosecute those who are committing these heinous acts, these war crimes, these crimes against humanity. The bill also addresses what Carl Anderson of the Knights of Columbus raised most recently at a hearing, and when he said, repeatedly we hear from church leaders in the region that Christians and other genocide survivors are last in line for assistance from governments. He also went on to point out that in the Archdiocese of Erbil, where there's some 10,500 families, upwards of 39,000 IDPs, including Yazidis and others, that they're not getting anything. I repeat, not a dime from the United States government. I have raised it, I have asked repeatedly, this legislation would direct the administration to get that money, whatever mechanism is required, to these starving and at-risk people, food, clothing, shelter, and medical supplies, and hopefully protection, so that they can survive and go on. Maybe go on to come here. And another part of the legislation would create what is called a Priority 2 category of special humanitarian concern for Iraq and Syria genocide survivors. We have found in the queue for those who do get asylum here that the Christians are so grossly underrepresented among the number. We're talking about 50 that have come over of the 10,000 plus because there's no real way to reach out and find them. P2 category would require that all means necessary be used to find them. We wouldn't just rely on the UNHCR or an embassy, somebody getting to our embassy. It would make them a special priority so that Christians could find relief, those who would like to make their way to the United States. I do ask you to back the bill. It has broad bipartisanship co-sponsorship, and I think it is the what next from the Genocide Declaration. I would also ask you, if you would, to request that the Senate move on the Frank Wolf International Religious Freedom Act, which has now been pending for months in the United States Senate. We've had multiple hearings on it. Again, Congresswoman Eshoo is the prime Democrat co-sponsor. It passed unanimously in the House. It will continue the Herculean work of that great champion, Frank Wolf, who wrote the original International Religious Freedom Act, which was opposed, by the way, by the Clinton administration, because I held the hearings. They were not for it. But when he was presented with a bill by Congressman Wolf with veto override strength, Bill Clinton signed it, and then it has been in law ever since, doing wonderful work, not always being fully implemented, but during several years of the Bush administration, very aggressively implemented. This takes all the lessons learned, all the unmet needs, prioritizes, again, religious freedom within the U.S. Department of State, creates even more training for Foreign Service officers who are very inadequately trained at present, creates more categories, puts groups like Boko Haram and ISIS into our mechanism, gives more power to the ambassador at large, and we do have a good ambassador at large in David Saperstein, but it makes it a whole-of-government approach, again, building on the magnificent work of Congressman Frank Wolf. So I just would ask you to try to get the Senate, if you would. It's in the Foreign Relations Committee. Mark it up. They may want to change it. I don't know why. We've gone through every nook and cranny of the bill, but we're always open to new ideas. But if it dies in this Congress, I am worried, and one of our previous speakers said that if Hillary Clinton gets in, it was Trent Franks, I believe, you will see a diminution of the Religious Freedom Office. I can tell you that when it came to designating countries of particular concern, they just kept the old countries, never looked to add any new countries. It was the most unrobust effort that I have ever seen. And that was very, very discouraging from my point of view. Because I held the hearings again, asked the administration if they would step up and do more. Again, Rabbi Saperstein has changed that, and he's a very good man, and he's doing his level best. But we got to make sure that that office is strong, and even stronger than it has been in the past. And I think Joe Pitts, and I'll conclude on this, couldn't have been more clear about the importance of prayer. I would add prayer and fasting, and good works. As it says in the book of James, faith without works is dead. We have people being decapitated, women being raped in real time, and our response has been less than what is called for, and you have made the difference in getting us where we are now, and I thank you for that. Without you, it would not have happened. God bless you.